So, doing another one of my car ride podcasts. This is number 2. Again, thank you to my buddy Robbie for giving me the advice to start doing this. You know, I kind of like it. I like getting stuff off my mind, and I journal a lot. Like I was saying in my last video, I like to take notes on stuff, and having a journal is a real good way to get your thoughts out. But this is like a video journal, and some of these thoughts can't be helpful, so I really like doing this, and I'm happy that I started, and thankful for friends motivating me, because I really have found motivation. I got a fight recently against a kid named Cody Rice. He's a decent stand-up fighter. I've seen some of his fights. He's pretty tough, lacking ground game. Me and him met in the cage the other night just to hype the fight, and he was telling me, he was saying on the microphone how he's working on his ground game. So, that's good for him. And, as a martial artist, you should be doing that anyways and trying to progress. But from what I've seen in his most recent fights, he don't have enough time to work on his ground well enough to handle what I'm going to bring forth. So, everyone knows I have aggressive takedowns, I have aggressive striking, and my jiu-jitsu is very, very slick, and that's something I've been working on and critiquing since I got here to Alaska. There's some really good black belts up here, and they've been giving me a lot of attention on not just the basics. I got my basics down. I'm real good at creating scrambles and finding submissions in those scrambles, but one thing that I've always been lacking was, being able to pull submissions off from position. The motto's brain fart. The motto's position before submission, right? And I always thought about that, but it never really worked for me. I always caught submissions when I created scrambles, and that's I think that comes from my wrestling background and just the type of style of fighting that I like. I like being aggressive. I like being fast paced. But I was actually talking to my fiance about this last night. I think it's something to do with how my mind works. I kind of self-diagnosed myself when I was younger, thinking that I have ADHD. Just looking up the symptoms and things like that. Like, I'm really not that worried about it, because I don't really think that ADHD is a really a disorder. It's just a different type of way of thinking. Some people's brains work differently than others. That's why we all have certain interests, and it's how you're raised and your genetics and all that, and a lot more stuff than I know about personally. But from the research I've done on it, I could, I honestly believe I could go to the doctor right now and be diagnosed with that, and they would try to put me on medication, and that's not my thing. I don't like taking medication, so I don't like putting those things in my body. I try to keep clean as it is, clean as I can be, I should say. I am human. I slack, but I like to stay as healthy as possible, and that's one thing. Prescription pills and things like that over the counter I don't really like, other than maybe some Tylenol here and there. Man, I kind of lost my train of thought. But overall, I was trying to say, what was I trying to say? Oh, so the Cody Rice fight, I found some real motivation from that. So after I found that out, I found some news out about my training situation. Not really going to go into that right now, just because things still have to play out before any decisions are made and set in stone. But exciting. I'm really excited about it, and that motivated me. And then right thereafter, Robbie gets on his Facebook live chat, podcast, whatever, and gives me that little motivational speech about getting sponsorships and stuff. And now, it wasn't a sponsorship thing, because I mean, it was a sponsorship thing for Robbie, but I didn't take it that way. I took some of the things that he said to heart, because it's things that I already knew and that I just hadn't been implementing, and just pure laziness. Like, one of the things that really hit me was the reason why Robbie has found his success thus far is because he works fucking hard to get it. Coming from American Top Team, that's the first thing that I noticed different than all the other gyms that I trained in. The guys who who are world champions, the guys who are competing at the highest level, they are committed. Conor McGregor said, he's not, this isn't talent. There's no such thing as talent. It's hard work. And, he says he's obsessed. And you look at some of the most famous people, in sports, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, all kind of crazy, like they were known to be kind of out of their head, and it's because they were obsessed with the sport. They were obsessed with what they did. This wasn't a sport. This wasn't a hobby. This was a lifestyle. This was the way they lived, the way they did things, something that, they were born to do, and we're lucky enough to find. I think we all have that in us. I have a couple passions that I'm very passionate about, and that, as I'm getting older, I just turned 25, I'm really starting to get focused on. I'm still young. I'm still very young. I feel very young, but I am getting into my mid-20s, or I'm in my mid-20s, and I want to start setting myself up for the future. And as far as now, I want to open my own gym and be teaching students, because that kept me out of trouble growing up. I've done a lot of crazy stuff, but I've had wonderful experiences and things that I'll never forget and I'll always cherish because of martial arts. And if I can give that back to one kid, get one kid in my gym, keep him off the streets, keep him out of trouble, keep him in school, keep him motivated and see him do successfully. And I've already kind of done that with a few people in my career thus far, and it makes me so happy. I just want to keep doing it. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Other than that, cooking. I really want to open up a gym and have a little restaurant next door, like just a little pop-up, not a pop-up place, but just a little spot, 5-10 tables, and with an ever-changing menu. I love to cook. One thing that martial arts has brought me is a healthy diet, and I love cooking. It's really hard to go out and find good eating inexpensively. Like, if you want to eat healthy out, it's pretty expensive, $25-$30, sometimes a person. That's mid-end, but still that's realistic. Me and my lady both try to eat healthy, and us go out, it's $50-$60 every time. And so I've really found that cooking at home and meal prepping is the best thing you can do, and I've really become passionate with it. And I've started writing, like I said, my notebooks. I have a notebook in the kitchen now, and because I like coming up with stuff on the fly. Like, I love to just go into the fridge and see what I got and just come up with a meal right there. Nothing planned ahead, and just go for it. But I realized that I should start writing these down, and I actually want to start writing a book on how to meal prep, but also use the meal prep to create cool dinners. Like, meal prep all this stuff, and then give you like 5 different dinners that you can make with that meal prep. That way you just meal prep in bulk instead of trying to do individual meals every day. You just meal prep, cook a whole thing of chicken, cook a big thing of veggies, a big thing of rice, and then keep adding variety to that, and then have like 5 or 6 different recipes for what you had that in that batch. And then also, when you do have like a Saturday or a free day, whatever day you're off work, that you have time to sit down and actually cook a meal. I want to cook a meal a little bigger than I normally would, a little more food than I actually, so I have some leftovers, and then have a recipe for using those leftovers, something different, change it up. I really like to do like a chicken dinner with some veggies and some potatoes, and then the next night I'll take that chicken and throw some ground beef in there. Good ground beef, of course. I don't like to eat a lot of red meat, so I use the best red meat that I can when I do eat it. But and then take the seasoning, taco seasoning, and make some tacos. And just cut it, then you just add some fresh veggies. We always do lettuce wrap tacos because I don't like to eat all those carbs. I'm trying to get down to 55, stupid difficult. But yeah, so these are all just things that I've been thinking about, and I like to get off my mind. I feel good doing this. This is kind of like I said, like a live journal. So hopefully this helps. If You know, these are things that I've learned over time, continuously doing the same shit and trying to perfect it along the way. And this is where I'm at right now. So hopefully it helps you out, or maybe just makes you refine what you've already been doing. So let me know if it helps you out. I would appreciate any kind of feedback. All right. Appreciate you guys listening in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.